And welcome here to another edition of Recruit Spotlight on Husker Online. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple. As always, Recruit Spotlight brought to you by Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, 30th and Yankee Hill Road here in Lincoln. And Sip, we've had a lot of opportunities to speak to 2024 targets for Nebraska. Right. We got a chance now to speak to a 2023 signee. Pleased to be joined here on Recruit Spotlight by defensive lineman Vincent Carroll-Jackson. He's a 2023 Husker signee out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a stone's throw away, by the way, from State College, Pennsylvania. We were joking off air. Nebraska doesn't have Penn State on the schedule, but obviously, you're a Big Ten guy where you're at. I mean, first of all, you've been to Lincoln now twice.
Yes.
After getting your chance to see kind of a game day experience, what was that like for you here on Saturday?
I just felt real love. I really enjoyed it. Like the atmosphere, like I just love being here. This is home. So like coming out there, seeing them boys compete, it just gave me even more and more excited to get down here in a month and start working.
Yeah, I'm interested, Vincent. I mean, you saw the spring game. You saw the defense you're going to be in. You saw Coach White in action. You saw Coach Rule in action. What were your takeaways from the football that you saw?
For the defensive aspect part of it, like I really loved it. The way like they was just hounding the ball, play after play after play, and how it wasn't just one person getting to the ball. It was pretty much everybody, every play. They was making big hits. They was making key plays, but they was also sticking to the basics of everything, like simple tackles when they needed simple tackles. Not trying to go for the big pick or trying to be spectacular, just getting the ball down, assessing the situation and where they are at, depending on if this needs a pick or just needs the ball to be patted down so that we can have better field range. The play calling, I think Coach Knight and Coach White and them, they did an amazing job with the play calling for the defense. So all in all, I was just super impressed.
Okay.
Speak on just your recruiting process with Nebraska, because Matt Rule was hired obviously after the season ended, and you didn't have a chance to really probably even look at Nebraska until that moment. How did Nebraska get on your radar, and kind of what led you to committing to the Huskers?
So first off, I was offered twice by Nebraska.
So previous staff?
No, same staff. They just didn't realize they offered me twice. They didn't realize they offered me twice.
You're so good. Like, we better double check and make sure we got this.
So, truth be told, Nebraska wasn't even on my radar even when they offered me. I really didn't even put it in my mind to actually check out. It wasn't until Coach Rule called me, he offered me again, and was like, I don't know if we offered you yet, but I want to offer you. I just got an office. He was like, I just got an office. I saw your tape, and I just want to offer you because I think you're a phenomenal player. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool or whatnot. The head coach calling me and giving me that kind of props, especially someone like him with his stature and things like that. And then I still didn't put it in my mind to actually think about it too much. But then he came down the next day, literally, like he offered me, and then the next day he was on a flight.
He was in Harrisburg?
Yeah, and he came down to my school, and he was like, he was just persistent about it. He was like, I don't care if it's for an hour, 30 minutes, even one day. I just want you to come down here, like, and see what we're all about, see what I'm about. The coaching staff I got behind me, like, we're new, but we got that hunger. So I'm like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like he said, even if I just come down for like, all he needs is a 30 minutes or an hour just to get me. And I'm like, that shows commitment, because like a head coach coming down here saying all those kind of things, like he don't need to do that. Like, there's thousands of players in this country that are just as talented as me. So for a head coach of his level to come down here, all the way down here, and then he actually came to my home as well right after school. So like we left school together and went to my house, and he was there for like an hour, 2 hours. We was just talking about life and simple things, not even football, just getting to know each other on a man-to-man level,
It's interesting. So Vincent, how many head coaches showed that kind of commitment to you?
How many
did any other head coaches show you that kind of love?
Just him.
Just him.
Yeah, just him.
So that's meaningful.
Yeah.
And this is a better question for Coach Rule, but since he's not here, I'll ask you. Why do you think he showed that What is it about your game that you think? Why did he become so interested?
Truth be told,
yeah.
I always the way I play my game is every game I go into, I always think about the past game and what I need to improve on. And I think that shows on my tape, because every game I had previously, there was a mistake that I made that game, and then the next game you go in and you see that mistake is no longer there. So I think he just sees how fast I was able to adapt to the game with such a short time and having such little experience and things like that, and the rawness of it. And I think he was just impressed and blown away by that.
Okay.
Matt Rule made a comment too, that one of the advantages of being late on the job, being hired, is he could evaluate senior tape. You're a guy, I don't think based off junior year, you would have had the opportunity, but your senior tape really helped you explode. Speak on the senior season you had at Harrisburg at Central Dufane East.
So suffice to say, our season wasn't the high it was expected to be, because we had a lot of younger guys. Like, we had a lot of freshmen and sophomore coming up, so they were inexperienced, so to say, which I was too, playing at that high school level, because I had never done it before. But it's just like, it was kind of like I had to have that mentality and that mindset to take over, because even though my experience is just like theirs, I'm still older, so I gotta show it in that way. So I gotta like lead by example, play after play. Like, I play both sides of the ball every play, so I take every rep. So it's like, if I show me slacking off, then they're going to think that's cool too, like that they can do that. So it was like I had to step up as a leader, even though that's my first time there. But it was that responsibility I gladly took on, because it's like, I was working all spring, winter, summer, and fall to improve. I was at a lot of camps. I was doing solo workouts with other coaches, just getting tips, talking to certain coaches on the phone for hours and hours, just getting tips like that, day and day, just trying to get better, perfect my craft, whatever I felt like could help me succeed and improve.
Forgive me if I don't know this completely, but so you're pretty new in this game, in football.
Yeah.
How did that work out? I mean, how did it come to be that way?
So I had started working when I was 13. Like, I got my first job at 13.
What were you doing at 13?
I was at Hershey Park.
Oh, at Hershey Park.
Yeah.
Okay. Hershey's 24 miles away from Harrisburg.
Yeah. So what it was I was working about 5 days a week, pulling in like 60 hours. It was
at age 13.
Yeah.
How is that legal?
See, back then it wasn't a problem. But now
look at him. He looks like he's 25 right now.
What country were you living in?
No. But I guess it was just like how it was the situation I was in was everybody just had to do their part. I'm in a big family. I have 9 siblings, and we're my mom, like, we all still live together to this day. We've never lived anywhere else but with my mother. So it's like everybody else to do their part. That's just the situation we were thrown into. So I was working since I was 13 all the way up until I turned 18. And then we had got a new coach to the school, Lance Dean. I had met him my junior year, and, we just started working out together in my strength and conditioning class. We would work out every day and just talk about life, and me coming out to play football for him. I did try to give it a chance my junior year, but I just couldn't find the passion for it. It was just not something I wanted to do. I didn't believe in it at the time, but even though I stopped doing it my junior year, me and him were still connected strong every day, talking about life. Just me, he was keeping up with me and my grades, making sure I was great. And then come the end of junior year, started a new season, he just sat me down. We talked for like an hour, and then at the end of that conversation, he was like, if you just come play for me, because you got nothing else to lose. It's your senior year, so if you just come play for me for this 1 year, he's like, if you buy in, give me 110% of what you got. I can't guarantee, but I will promise I'll do everything to get you to play college football. So I decided to take him up on his word. I don't do that too often with people, because I've been let down in those kind of situations a lot in my life.
Well, who was your first offer then? Like, when did that come your senior year?
My first offer was New Hampshire.
And then were you kind of like, oh man,
yeah,
I mean, like I bet you were like, this is like big time.
It came after my 4th game.
Okay.
We put out a 4-game highlight tape, and a few days later they called me and they offered me, and then I started talking to Buffalo and Kent State.
Kent State.
Yeah.
Who was your first big Power 5?
Rutgers.
So they offered you.
Yes.
Did they offer you?
Yeah.
Okay. So your coach's word turned out to be golden, right?
Yeah, I can't thank him enough. I do it every day. Trust me. Man, sometimes I do it too much.
Did you? Oh, that's okay. Did you? Well, first of all, where are you age-wise in your family with 9 siblings?
I'm the 3rd oldest.
Third oldest.
I have a brother who's 20 and then another brother who's 22.
Do you have some natural athleticism in your family?
Yeah, my family, we're sports people. Like I have a cousin right now up at Liberty Wrestling right now. One of my other cousins used to wrestle at Temple.
Okay.
So like we've been doing sports our whole life.
Did you wrestle?
No, I had anger issue problems.
Well, you've been great.
I had anger issue problems that prevented me from doing that kind of thing.
You're doing track right now, though, right?
Yeah, I'm doing track right now.
Are you?
Discus and shot?
Yeah. Actually, truth be told, it started out as a way for me to just buy time till I get down here because I was just bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I eventually the competitive side of me took over, and I started to actually really participate and try and work harder. So
what are your best marks?
50 for a shot put.
And you've never done it till this year?
No. And 110 so far from a power throw on discus.
Yeah, and discus is a hard movement to learn.
It really is. It's just so quirky. It get on my nerves sometimes.
I mean, you can get hurt if you do it wrong.
Yeah, you do. You can. I've seen it happen already.
As we wrap it up here with you, Vincent, what is your timeline? Do you plan to be in Lincoln in May? I mean, when will you begin your journey here as a Husker?
We'll be here May 28th.
May 28th. You got the date on the nose.
Yep, May 28th.
I got one more, Sean.
Go ahead. Steve.
That Hershey's Chocolate World. It's only 24 minutes from your place from your town anyway. Mm-hmm. Is it? I've never been there. Is it worth going?
Oh, 100%. Like,
is it?
I don't eat chocolate and things like that anymore, but it's still a beautiful thing to go to. Like it's very fun. There's a lot to do.
What did you do there? Were you just like, did you make chocolate?
No, I worked at Hershey Park.
So at the park.
I thought you were like in the factory, like the chocolate factory.
Park. You got to be, I think, 16 to work.
I was like, you were on those hot chocolate.
No,
I would have got too addicted to that. They would have fired me. They'd have fired me because I would have drained that pit quick as that.
Well, Vincent, we really appreciate the chance to get a chance to talk to you, and welcome to Nebraska. Congratulations on signing with the Huskers. Looking forward to seeing you here in the fall.
Thank you. I appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks again to Vincent Carroll-Jackson of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 2023 Husker defensive line signee for joining us here on Recruit Spotlight. Once again, Recruit Spotlight brought to you by Tanner Sports Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, 30th and Yankee Hill Road in Lincoln. For Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan.